Couch in space!
Oh, look, it's a couch.
Looks comfortable.
And it's in space.
Cool.
Couch in space!
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Couch in Space. Today I'm joined by Bruce Haylock. Welcome aboard the Space Couch, Bruce.
Lovely, yes. Space Force is it, isn't it? It's awesome.
You like the view?
It's brilliant.
Can you recognise any countries that are down there? How's the geography?
Quite a few.
I've known Bruce for quite a while. We worked together at TVNZ in totally different departments. But what I've really found interesting about Bruce, he's kind of done a little bit of reinventing himself. And really, that's one of the reasons I got you here. One, we can reminisce a little bit about TVNZ. And also, where you are now, being a photographer extraordinaire, at the last frame. And I'd get you to check it out. It's really good photography. But we'll hear more about this from Bruce himself. But let's just start it off with, TVNZ. I worked there for 16 years. How many years did you work at TVNZ?
I think I was around 17 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were there longer.
Yeah, no, it was around that. But I was made redundant and then came back for a year and then went away after that. But it was
when you were made redundant, you were there for like 16 or 17 years.
Yeah.
What kind of impact did that have on you?
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah?
It was huge. I actually didn't handle it at all well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
oh, right.
Yeah, so,
I had no idea.
And that's, in a way, is how the last frame NZ was really born, because
right.
I didn't handle it well. I was in a pretty bad headspace for a while.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I joined up at Sky, but it took a while to actually get to work through that.
Yes.
and that whole process. Yeah.
But oddly enough, that was the time that your interest in photography kind of emerged. Has it always been there?
No, it's always been there. I mean,
Okay.
it's been around for a long time. I mean, my dad was an amateur photographer, but he was a real technical amateur photographer. He was basically an engineer by trade. So it was a bit like Ansel Adams by numbers. It was so he was really there was that influence there.
So when you meant, say, technical, is that more like, in layman's terms, aperture, exposure, the kind of
totally.
chemicals you use to develop the
totally,
film and things
totally.
like, which is a total art in itself, really, isn't it?
But it ended up for me by going to a trip to Australia for a holiday, which I brought a camera. And I just loved it. I mean, I spent walking around Sydney basically shooting. And when I got home, I went to night school for 3 years. Basically, that's what drove that interest. And
you went to night school for 3 years doing photography.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was that kind of stuff that really inspired me.
Yeah.
I ended up by my tutor at the time. We became really good friends. He was an ex glamour photographer out from London, so he always had some pretty amazing stories of the 60s because
right.
that was his genre and his time.
Wow.
And that was an influence.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been shooting basically since 1981.
Okay.
It's been a part of that. We've always had cameras.
Yes.
It's always been there. But the last frame in Z really developed from around 2012, where I really started to take a more art perspective.
Still while you were at TVNZ?
No, not really. I mean, we ended up by. I ended up by, when I left TVNZ, that's where the last frame NZ really started to establish itself, I guess.
And was that just like a welcome distraction?
It was. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was a period of time where, like I said, I went through a bit of a dark patch, and art really was something that I found that I really enjoyed doing.
Right,
and
okay.
So some of my work you've probably noticed has a bit of a dark tinge to it, and is quite emotional. And I started to shoot in that manner simply because I thought, this is cool. I can express myself without doing anything silly.
Yeah.
I can explore that, and that's really what it's about for the last frame in Z. Yeah.
And it's really taken quite a turn, hasn't it?
Oh, massive.
From when you started to, you know, I know, and I'm really grateful, Bruce shot my first album cover. I did that little thing that we walked around the streets, and he said, I know this really cool wall, you know, it's nice textures, it's brick. And it was really neat. We didn't end up using that one because it was a good shot, but it looked, I think I looked too much like a boy band guy. But anyway, we walked around, remember that?
Yeah,
and we saw this really cool street, and it had some nice colourful shops.
It was great, and we were able to use shadows in the show. And
I think the road was wet, was that right?
Yes, yeah.
So I just leant my guitar up to the side and put it on an angle, and I think he even got down on the ground and got this really odd angle.
I still do that, but I struggle now to get up, so, you know, that is a bit
just
of a...
take a while, it takes some to while you're down there.
Just leave me down there, it's fine, you know. I'll get up eventually, but it's fine. Yeah.
But isn't that fascinating? Because, I mean, I could say, I'm kind of an amateur photographer as well, but I do love looking through the lens and seeing a bit of detail that excites me, and it doesn't matter where you are, you know, there's motivation everywhere if you know where to look, eh?
Definitely. I mean, there's lots of things that inspire us, you know, and for me, one of the things that has become, you know, really strong is in fact music. So I hook into, you know, lyrics and stuff like that, and I'm listening to certain lyrics, and I go, wow.
So what kind of music and what kind of?
Oh, all sorts.
Yeah,
all sorts.
like
I mean, really, it's an open. I mean, at the moment, I'm re-listening to, you know, garbage from the '90s again, and you know, and a lot of their lyrics and how they performed the actual showmanship and you know, so you know, that's quite intense. And I really like that. So a lot of stuff that I shoot, you know, is actually, you know, these lyrics going in my head all the time, and I'm going, wow, can I use this? How do I want to show this image? You know, so yeah, works out.
So you've got a bit of, I guess, punk rock, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
because some of you don't make a lot of sense, because a lot of the images, I thought, it kind of does look punkish, rockish, slash gothic a little bit.
It does. Oh, look, I mean, I like goth elements. I like certainly from a music genre. I mean, I like rock. I mean, I like punk. There's a whole, you know, there's a very broad spectrum of music that I like.
Right.
And it really does influence. You know, it influences my shooting style. It influences when I'm actually building a concept and how I want the image to, or images to actually show.
So while you're listening, you go, this image is kind of for me. Is that how it works? Like before you go out on the shoot, you listen to something. Oh, wouldn't it be cool to have, the ocean and then a woman there, and she's kind of lying like this, and then shadows like this, and that would sum up this kind of lyric. Now, do you say that, though, in your images? When you have your frame, do you publish the story that goes with the frame?
Yeah, I think so. I think a good friend of mine once said, well, you know, you shoot like as if you're shooting a video, but you're just shooting frames. And you're actually trying to tell a story. And yeah, I am. I think it's not just about you know, shooting for shooting's sake, or just going, I'm going to shoot this because that looks really cool. I'm actually always trying to tell a story. And I think that's what photography is. I mean, whether it's you're shooting a documentary or whatever, it actually doesn't matter. You are telling a story, and it's about trying to get the viewer, dragging the viewer into those images and letting them experience that, and that's just so much fun. That's what I really like.
That's
to do.
what art is, isn't it? Art is storytelling. But it goes a bit deeper than that, because it's emotive, and especially you're using a medium that is potentially very emotive as well. Hey, you can make us emotive and controversial. Hopefully it invokes something, isn't it?
Always. I mean, you know, hopefully with my images, people, they'll see there's an emotional value to
Right, yeah.
the images.
Yes.
I always want people to argue with me about them. Like,
Okay.
I don't want you to like them. I actually want you to not like them,
Right.
because that means you immediately get some form of emotional response.
Yes.
And it's like if I go to an art gallery, I don't want to look at something on the wall and go, oh, that's lovely. I want to make it.
Well, why is it lovely?
Yeah. I want it to actually make me angry. I actually want to feel it. I actually want to walk out of that gallery and be thinking about that piece of art 2 weeks later,
Right.
and go, why am I thinking this? Why am I feeling this? And to me, that's what art should be.
Yeah.
It really should be that emotional side to it.
But it's very difficult to get emotional, especially in this day and age, I feel, where you're so bombarded with images. You don't know what's got depth and what doesn't. There's so much online you can look at. Even if you say you're into art, for instance, and you start to go down the path of, I don't know, researching the Renaissance, for instance. Now you type Renaissance art on, and you go to Google Images, 2000 Renaissance art. But that's not appreciating it. It's almost like you've got so much information, and the hard part is to say, stop. I'm not going to look at these 2,999 images. I'm going to concentrate on this just one, and I'm going to see what that is actually about. What strokes do they use? What's the palette? And that is, like a fine wine almost. But it's really hard to do. I've seen Renaissance art. I've looked at images. I've seen 3,000 of them. But how many pieces of art do you actually appreciate or truly appreciate? And that's with music too, There's so much variety out there, there's so many songs. But I think people would be hard-pressed to pick one and say, I really appreciate this song. I don't just like it, I love it because the lyrics say this, and I love the way the guitar does this, and the voice does this, and, the drums do this. It's like we're just in such a, I don't know, everything's so fast.
And this is where I think from what I try and do is, I work at my pace, I work at what I want to shoot. We've got all these influences around all the time, Instagram and, everything like that. And you're right, we get bombarded with images, but I think at the end of the day, you work out what motivates you, you work out what drives you, you work out what's good for your soul, you work out what you want to shoot. And once you've worked that out, then that's fine. You just do your thing. Yeah,
that's right. No one is criticising you or pushing you to do this or work faster or harder.
No, you do your thing. And I think that's the same thing as being if you're a musician, sure you're to the point where you are or do get influenced. But really it's about what drives you.
Yes.
As a person and what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That's it really for the Last Frame NZ as well.
And I think that's needs to be true for most artists. Do your thing.
Do your thing.
So many people need to pigeonhole themselves. It's got to be, especially music, it's got to be rock, it's got to be pop, you got to be this pretty, you got to have this kind of beat and things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of art gets confused with trying to enter a marketplace rather than being true to your own art.
I'm the most uncommercial photographer shooter that you're ever going to meet. I mean, what draws you to the Last Frame NZ? What images do you actually respond to? How do you?
That's right. Yeah, I have to look at a picture. But even funny though, you post things up. You don't post one picture sometimes. You post, say, a collection of pictures, and that gets confusing. So, am I meant to look at all of them? Is the whole collection telling a story? Or are you giving me all these pictures and hoping I invest in one of them? I don't know. What's your motivation if you put up a bunch of pictures?
Well, at the moment, I'm putting up images where, from 2012 through to latest shoots that I've done this year. And basically, I've just gone, well, boys and girls, this is what I'm shooting.
Yep.
This is who I am.
Yep.
I've decided to simply merge myself the last frame NZ, because for a long time I kept everything separate. I kept the identities quite wide, and I've just gone, well, you know, this is who I am. This is what I shoot.
So what made you decide that?
I've just wanted to, I guess, be more honest and about who I am, what I shoot, why I shoot.
Yep.
The incredible people that I had the opportunity to actually work with.
Yes.
And basically, yeah, just have a real honesty about my work, you know. And if I upset people about it, well, you know, I'm really sorry, but that's your.
No, you're not.
That's your issue.
That's not what you want, is it? Let's
exactly.
be honest here.
You know,
you're on a couch space. You can be honest. You don't have to apologise for anything.
Yeah. Oh, I won't. No. So you know, but it comes down to just having you know, if I upset Auntie Daphne, well, I'm really sorry, honey, but you know, this is who I am.
Don't look at Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely right.
The last frame is not for you. You know, that's the thing.
And of course there are some people who don't like it, and that's fine. I accept that, and that's fine. You know, we're all big people. We just move on and do our own thing. But I enjoy what I shoot. I mean, it's super challenging.
Yes.
And like I said, it's great to work with a range of different people.
Now, this is my next question, because I think your journey from really actively seeking and using models has been a really gradual thing.
Yeah.
How do you go from getting the confidence up, getting a model in the first place, getting someone pretty, and then also maybe even getting them to reveal their body? You know, was that a difficult progression for you?
No,
you didn't
not at
feel odd, or maybe I shouldn't be asking this? And how did the models respond to that, you know?
It comes back to you know, a period of time where you start to work with a group of people and models who are quite comfortable, you know, nude and all the rest of it. They're comfortable in their own skin. So the, you know, the actual challenge is simply, okay, how am I going to shoot this? What do I want to show? You know, I mean, anyone can take a shot of a nude. It's fine, but it's how you're going to bring emotional value to that image. You know, you'll see a lot of my images. They're quite wide. You know, there's a lot of stuff. If you're really looking, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and that's important, and that's what I like to shoot. And it's always about emotional value.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big believer of you know, if you're shooting someone nude, then you're reaching in and grabbing that emotional value from that person. They've got nothing to hide.
Right, yeah, that's right.
They're there,
vulnerability,
you know,
to its core,
everything. Everything is there. So that is incredibly important to me.
Yeah. And how much of the story does the model know? Do you sit them down, tell them, this is my picture idea?
Look, usually they don't want to know.
Okay.
No.
Just make me look pretty, Bruce, please.
No, well, actually, no, not even pretty, because
that's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. You
pretty
know,
is boring.
Because we're trying to tell the story, and sometimes that story's quite dark.
Yes.
It's super emotive. I mean, you know, we use things, some of the stuff, you know, blood and all the rest of it in shoots. So yeah, it's not about being pretty. I am not a glamour photographer. I have never been. I don't want to shoot that genre.
Yes.
It's horrible, you know. But but that's what it's about. It's about getting that emotional response to camera and being able to shoot that way.
And what kind of responses have you been getting, like from models?
Yeah, I mean, some of them.
Has it been mixed?
Yeah, no, I mean, often they don't say much, you know. It's like, but they know what they're getting into because they've seen the work, you know. And often it's like, oh, that's kind of that's a cool idea, or okay, yeah, that's you, that's fine, we'll shoot it, you know.
Yeah, right.
We'll see how it turns out, but it's fine,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, photography it's been my love for a long time. I never took it very seriously. But getting the framing right and the lighting right, and I guess you do a lot of outside, so you don't do much studio stuff. Hey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to do some more studio work.
Okay, just because you got the greater control?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. that's a tough question.
Okay.
I kind of like. I mean, I like location work because it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
And and there's so much stuff going on that's outside your control.
Yes.
There's lighting and all the rest of it, and the whole 9 yards. So, and if you're shooting a nude out on location, then there's the added factor of people and all the rest of it. So, it can be. I like that. It's really difficult. It's super challenging.
Yes.
And some obviously you have an assistant, or you might have a makeup artist, and you've got other people there, and you're just trying to put the whole thing together. So yeah, it's great fun, frustrating, crazy, and all mixed in.
But something that you love.
Yeah.
Do you ever do you shoot bands at all? Have you ever explored that, combining your love of music with the artist that's actually performing?
Yeah, I have shot one and your album cover, and I recently shot another album cover.
Okay. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, it's quite an interesting. I do and I don't, because often, of course, your band members have a really solid idea or concept on how they want to see it, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
It's their gig, right? So and sometimes I go, no, I really want to shoot it this way, but you're working to a client.
Yes.
And this kind of stuff, of course, is a paying gig. So you have to go with what the client wants, and you have to deliver to the client. So that's fine, but it does.
Not ideal though, is it?
No.
They're your tools. Okay, I'll work with this, and I guess this is where the artistic thing comes from. And I guess there's a certain arrogance being an artist, because. No, I've got this vision. This is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Screw you, man. You don't know what you want, I can make this. But that's also the most rewarding, because at the end of the day, if you're a musician, make the music and hire a photographer to give you another vision on top of that.
Yeah.
Why do you need to control every aspect? I can understand there's certain, again, and this is all appealing to a marketplace, isn't it? So
it is.
A lot of artists, especially musicians, don't really have that much control over their image. They fit a certain profile. You need to look punk rockerish, and I need to see your face because your face sells the albums, kind of thing. So you don't care about a story. Don't want a story. No. Just give me a pretty headshot and we're done.
But I think from days gone by when we used to buy the market early on, say in the 70s or whatever, with vinyls, and you open up the vinyl and basically there was always a row of images and stuff in there, and that used to tell a story, and of the band, and it'd be shots and concerts and all the rest of it. I love that. Again, it comes back to actually telling a story and being able to do that. Yeah. And that, again, that's what drives me as well.
So what you're saying, it's all about the story.
It is. Yeah.
Everything has a story, a beginning, a middle, and an end, but you just got to follow that path.
Yeah.
So there you go, there's your words of wisdom from Bruce. Bruce, we've been talking for over 20 minutes already. See, it goes fast, isn't it?
Sure
does. Were you nervous?
No, that's fine.
That's fine?
It's great. Yeah.
Welcome to Space. Thanks very much for watching, and please check out Bruce's work. Where can people see your work?
I'm on Instagram as The Last Frame NZ, so you can find me there.
Cool. Check out his work. It's really cool. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye. Unfortunately, there's no dog here to cuddle.
Couch in space!